one go. Alright, we got another video, but this one I don't really know what's categorized it as, so we're just gonna talk and see what happens.
Yes. To make the top tourney.
Basically what we're gonna be doing is talk about how the Vanguard tournaments could be made better.
Yeah. And it's not your typical complaints that most people would go on about.
Yeah, it's just more ways to make it more
aside from having better judges, we're going with other stuff.
Yeah, I don't see how people can complain about that.
That can't really be helped. Ours, we had fine judges, right?
It's more like, how stupid do you have to be to even get into a situation where you need one?
Yeah, exactly. The game isn't designed to the point where you actually need judges to do things.
Yeah, like
if people are cheating, okay, yeah.
Yeah, for cheating I get it, but but do you really need one there for ruling? Most of the time they're pretty self-explanatory.
As long as it's not Draconic Overlord.
The most complicated thing, back then, the most complicated thing people were just talking about was ruling when Duke heals at 4, you can't limit break. No. And if you have a column of Spring Breeze and Vivian, you Vivian first.
Yeah,
sometimes things come up, but mostly.
Yeah. Well, ultimately they aren't. But that's not what we're going to talk about.
That's not what we're complaining about.
It's more really everything else when you think about it. Particularly.
Really going halfway to support the top placements.
Hi, Ghost. But because in these most recent tournaments,
this season,
first place gets paid trip and hotel to
the Queen Mary.
To the Queen Mary in California, where the national tournament will be held for the teams.
The team league. Otherwise,
the coolest place to hold it.
Florida, like Miami or something, this weekend for the stand-up challenge code.
But second place doesn't get any of that.
They get the invite, but
it's on your own. Yeah, so if for us, for example, if you're not exactly in a position to be able to afford a trip across country and a hotel and food
and get everyone there,
and make sure everyone gets there.
Because if you're minus one person, nope, you don't get to play.
So,
because I think the only one out of you three that could actually afford it is Dan, and even then it would be like.
Well, he's more inclined to than us, but that's because we are poor. But that's besides the point. The point is, if the second place doesn't have the ability to afford everyone to get up there, well, then that's too bad for that team.
Well, we'll just have third place do it. Oh, they can't either. Well, fourth place.
It's like, it's not everyone
Can we
is
even in contact with the fourth place people.
Not everyone is inclined to be able to fly across the country at a moment's notice.
Yeah, because you only have a little over a month maybe after you find out.
If that.
Yeah, and plane tickets are going there are going to be a bit expensive.
Because most people get their tickets months in advance, and we're having, if we're lucky, a month to get the tickets ready.
Yeah, here to California, round trip for you guys right now would probably be up to $230.
Each?
No, in total. I think.
I think it's more than that.
Yeah, it's going to be each.
Unless we cut early as a kid.
No thanks, we're just gonna road trip to my sister's place.
Yeah, or we take a road trip, which would still cost a lot because gas and
that'd be upwards of $1,000.
Yeah, and a hotel for the night because unless we drive non-stop all the way to Arizona, it's a cost issue.
Oh, never mind. That was just me saying Arizona.
If we're going to Arizona, we can
his
my
sister lives in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
So we'd either be staying with Elliot's sister or my grandmother.
All you guys have freaking family in Arizona for some reason. But anyway, the point is, first place gets to go, and it's no problem for them because all they have to really do is make sure they got food. Second place is almost better to have not even gotten second place at that point, because it's like you have it, because it's like you have the second place, but you almost have no real way to get there without spending so much money that you know you won't get back.
Well, guys, we're living in California now.
Yeah, like either you get like for second place, you either just like give them either like transportation or the hotel room, and then if not, just have it the the second stage a little bit later than normal, so you know people can afford it.
It's just such a staggering difference
It
when
is.
there really shouldn't be.
Because effectively, first place gets everything, second place gets nothing. And, well, I don't know why.
Necessary. Just make it so that the entry cost for like the national tournament is like maybe like $3.
Or,
That's the thing. None of this even has any of that. They're like burning all this money on free swag when they don't really have to.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone appreciates it.
it's
but
appreciated, but we don't. But
you put that into
getting the second place out there, even if later on, if they want to be ballsy, the top 3, if they started focusing on the different things. I mean,
this is sort of a filler season. They may not have the most money to throw around, but
I get that, but it
Bushy Bros,
doesn't
they throw
matter.
money
They
around like it's
they
nothing.
throw money around anyway, but that's besides the point.
Let's make a Tokusatsu series for one episode and then not update it for
Not
months.
ever updated it again. But yeah, you gotta give us some slack here. I mean, not everyone has money.
Even the one Yu-Gi-oh player we
we
had who
already gave you all of our money buying your cards.
You know, go ahead, Dan.
Even like the one avid Yu-Gi-Oh player we know of that actually has a job but still needs to scourge for money because he goes to every single ICS and he doesn't like top them, therefore he doesn't get like a free trip if that happens over there.
Actually, that's another
This
thing.
is just give you a bunch of crap. They don't give you any like. You have to get to all those tournaments yourself. Period.
Oh god.
But you do get things though, so it's at least you're getting something for it. Alright, see you later.
Yep, see you guys. I'm off to go bake bread.
Alright, but anyway, but that's actually another thing that brings it up out of nowhere. The lack of a alternate.
Yeah.
They're clearly trying to make these tournaments like the show, and the show has alternates. Why don't we? Because what if that day Dan got sick
It can happen.
and he
I got run over by a bus.
or if he really got ran over by a bus
I
and
got-
he's in the hospital
my
now.
ragdoll got hit by a car. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but what if something happens like that? Now we can't go because, well, we can't bring our other member.
Life hates me.
This is like the weirdest thing because over in Europe, they get a sub. I don't know how they manage that. Something about the branch over there just deciding to do it.
As I think is a good idea, because if something happens to one guy, the whole team can't do anything. And that's kind of sucks. Especially if you...
This is basically everyone's out there sentiment about this, I'm sure.
I'm sure. But, you know, if anyone, you know, who has, like, cut links in the Bushy Road could hear this, maybe for the next one, things could maybe be altered a bit to fit this better. I mean, I remember the regional. We got so much stuff.
So much stuff.
I mean, for all the
Yeah,
occasions.
only
Both
three,
the top slots.
Aside from the 3 promos, we got a deck box, the first 2
Box,
episodes,
first episode, a card box too.
a pen.
Pen. The hell is a very fancy hotel.
I was just expecting like 1 promo or something like that.
It was
No,
pretty freaking
4.
nice.
And then
And first and second both got a trip there, right?
yes.
Or, yeah.
And more than that, that was actually on a world scale. There was somewhere else to go after, your continental.
Nope, not
I
this
guess
one though.
It's a bit different for team because it's technically paying for 6 people.
Yes, but even then,
Again, just like have the date for that for the
Or-
second part just be a lot longer.
or if they are going to do it that way, if they really can't afford to get the second place team out somewhere,
I think you
Put-
may as well just not give them the invite.
they either just
So
don't
they
give
don't feel robbed.
either don't give them the invite or put the national tournament in the center of the country.
Yeah.
So people who are in the Midwest, or within that area,
We're
can
not
go
just
right
saying
there.
this because we live right
Yeah, and we're not saying that because we're right there, but we're saying like if it's in California, not only do we have to either drive for days or spend hundreds of dollars on a ticket to get there, but what about people in New York?
They have to spend twice as long.
Oh god. I was just thinking about that.
It's like, so only people who are near California benefit from this, whereas everyone else not in the southwest coast basically just get screwed.
Everyone must suffer at least a little bit.
At least in the Midwest, even if it's, I don't know, actually Chicago would be a place, it's a big name area. It doesn't have as many things happen card-wise as New York or California does. This would be a good thing to put it in.
Just have a tip list there.
Isn't this one of the more popular places for it anyway?
It is. From what I understand, Midwest is like one of the biggest card fight areas in the States. So it would also make more sense from that. I mean, heck, we have those guys who came down from Wisconsin for the tournament because there's no like tournaments out here, at least not a whole lot. So they didn't have any place to go to for a qualifier, so they had to go across state to find one.
And even we only have like 3 within a 100-mile radius, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that our area could use a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Publicity.
Yeah, publicity for this sort of thing. Because I'm not saying crap about any other area or nothing. I'm just saying that it seems that a lot of the big name people, and including the world champion from last year, if I recall, come from this area. So why not hold the tournament in this area? It just seems to make sense, is all. But no, California is just a bigger name and bigger place.
Not to mention, with it being held on the Queen Mary, they're going to be raking in so much publicity for themselves, not for anyone else.
And I don't know. It just feels like it's kind of just ripping off people who tried to get to the second place slot, only to not get anything out of it. I mean, I understand tournaments are free, but if they get to second place and you give them something they can use, even if they don't get to go off to another place, give them a prize, even if it's just like a box.
Get the tickets and hotel reservations so far in advance that you won't care.
Yeah. I mean,
or is that what they do or not?
They arrange it with you over phone after you get the qualification.
Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, you probably can't make tickets or reservations on a blank day.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I know that's another thing I really forgot to talk about. Not so much from the traveling aspect of it, but from the tournament style. It's not as big of a deal for team tournaments, but for regular ones, one-of matches leave people really salty.
They do. I mean, they're not ultimately that terrible when you really get down to it.
But it still leaves people very unhappy.
For us at regionals, it was one of double elimination.
Yeah, it still is for everything.
Yeah, and for team it's fine because
you're effectively getting that.
It's effectively a best of 3 match. But for regular singles, it's not. So if you just have really bad luck for a couple rounds, well, then you're out. I'm sorry.
The only problem with best of 3 single elimination, it could be significantly longer, but
it's not single.
Oh. Ooh, best of 3 double elimination.
Until you get to the top cut, then it's single.
Then it's single.
At least make the top cut 2 of 3. That's easy. I imagine. It doesn't make things that much longer. In fact, they did it at Worlds anyway.
I mean, give us some. I mean, I love this game a lot. And there's a lot of cool things about it. So what certain people who haven't given the game a chance would tell you. But the only real problem I find with it is its tournament settings, where it can be very polarizing for people who expect anything and then come out with nothing at all because
Really,
bad luck.
Well, this game did just come out, so hopefully it'll just be tinkering around with whatever.
I'm assuming that's what they're doing. That's what these stand-up challenges are for too. And that's why I'm hoping this is something that will be changed later. Because I like to see it because last year's regional tournament was pretty good. The only real problem with it that people really came across with was they were mad when 2 losses they're out because of one of matches.
I honestly didn't care because
I didn't
secretly. I was in it for the free side of it for Vegas.
I was there when I saw there was so much free stuff. I was like, well, I don't even care about tournament now. There's free stuff everywhere. It was worth going just for that. But most people went for the attempt to win.
Oh,
I know how you felt.
It really, really, really sucked in the last round because getting screwed over because your deck just decided, no, I'm not gonna work.
It's only a half moon. I'm not at my full power. Actually, that was.
It really was a half moon that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
I'm not as bitter about the current format as most. So.
Yeah, but it is. But you can at least admit that is a thing that happens, though. You come so far, you actually think, hey, maybe I can actually do this, and then your deck starts hating you. And then it's like, well, now I can't do it, and I was so close. And it's something that could easily be fixed by having more than just one round, even if it's just in the after you cut to the top.
How would we calculate make the top cut 4, even though those people might be be 2-0 with their top roots, best of 3. How hard would we calculate to make a top cut be 4 people if there's so many undefeated?
Instead of 8?
Yeah, what's the top cut, 8 or 16?
It's 8.
Yeah, it's 8.
Almost.
If they made it, if they made it 4, how would we calculate if there were so many undefeated players?
I'm really not sure. I don't think I'd like it to be a top 4 though.
I thought you mentioned saying. I thought you said that.
Because no one can consistently keep an undefeated record. Not even the best players in the world.
Yeah, at some point, you're gonna lose, or something along those lines will happen.
Best of 3 is going to be a lot longer.
It'll be longer, but it'll be worth
won't
it.
be as salty, and if they do, I'm just going to throw them off the cliff.
Right, that's what I was going to say. I actually get more upset when I lose a best of 3 set. It's like, I've been here for so long. I
usually don't get mad.
Like how Cody felt when he was like, I made it to the top 2 3 games already. Oh, sorry, I lost. Got to play 3rd game. I'm gonna go get McDonald's now.
I think I'm more the other way, because at least best of 3, even if it's longer, at least I had a relatively fair shot at it. If my first round was terrible and I got sacked because I got stuck at grade 0, I can try to make up for it the next 2. If it's if it's just a single limb, and it's single limb per round, I get stuck at grade 0, get sacked. Well, I can't even fight you again. I gotta.
It's just
deal with it.
I'm the Sugiyami player. I don't want extra strain.
Yeah. Well, I do use everything else, and they don't really care.
They allowed a second mulligan.
Dude, I don't know. I really don't know.
I know you didn't like this idea. I still personally say they should just let you start off with a 1, 2, and 3 in hand, and then shuffle your deck.
So broken.
So broken, but everyone starts with their best foot forward. And if the one other person's best foot forward is not very good because they just didn't put good cards in, that's their fault.
Shuffle.
It gives everyone
until you see a grade 1, 2, 3. Grab those. Shuffle, draw 2.
Because it gives everyone more or less an equal chance. I mean, you don't even care. Even if you don't get them in your hand, chances are you're gonna find them anyway.
You keep 2 second shirts.
So even for you, it wouldn't even matter.
And it's just that missing it is meant to be a factor for the really bad decks. So I mean, I get it why things are the way they are.
I get why they are too. I'm just saying they could have also been this way. It wouldn't have been a bad way to do it. They both ways work fine.
What else happened? What else we're going to be talking about the tourney? Is that it? Or?
I think it's like all the big things that we hit on. I think the only other thing is
Travel.
Totally was fine, guys.
I think the only other thing is making it worth your trip. Like even like since we're going to the regional for the team thing, and it's within driving distance, that's cool and all. But if I recall, there's not really any. I think you only get like a deck box, right? For going there. I think it's about it.
We're fine with that. It's just if we make a second.
Or second, and if I recall, I don't think there was ever mention of any prizes at nationals.
News about us robbing a bank, you're gonna know why we did it.
But yeah, at least for the single one, for the nationals, for the single version of this thing, I don't think I ever heard of any actual thing for participating there. Then you just show up and.
I'm not sure either. I kind of stopped caring after I dropped out.
But yeah, it's like on top of everything. So on top of for second place, particularly because I just feel like getting Jewed out of so much. On top of all of that, you drive all the way out there or fly all the way out there, and what do you even have to show for it?
The prizes don't even have to be equal. Just make it, feasible.
Even if it's I flew to California and all I got was this Vanguard shirt, I would be okay.
Even though they're $60.
It's like even that would have been something.
All right, I think we've been dragging on and going in circles long enough.
Going in circles because I'm mad about it.
Yeah.
It just feels so unfair. But hopefully this will be a thing that will show ways to improve it later. If not this tournament, at least enough people talking about it, talking to Bushi Road about it. Let them know that we're expecting a bit more.
If there's enough general disdain, something will change.
Voice your concern. It does matter with stuff like this.
Especially with this company, because they actually
care, unlike a certain other company I could mention.
Damn it, Kaiju though.
Well, that one too. The one that starts with a K and ends with a me. As they only care about me.
Yeah.
I think that's everything to say about that. Any last minute things?
Nope, never.
Right. Well, then I guess that's it for this video. We'll try to get more recent stuff out and start digging into our trove of lost videos soon enough.
Here's news about last month's stuff.
Bye everybody.